Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. My name is Zack Carpenter, your host of the Inside Nebraska podcast. Today is the fourth episode of the show. So if you like what we've been putting out there, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell in the bottom corner there to have these episodes dropped right in your feed. Today we are welcoming on a special guest in Amir Herring. Amir is a four-star class of 2023 offensive guard out of West Bloomfield, Michigan, and he was one of the 13 official visitors on hand this past weekend at Nebraska for what was a huge and frankly monumental official visits weekend that was one of, if not the biggest of the Scott Frost era. And Amir is one of, if not the biggest remaining offensive line targets in the class for Nebraska. So Amir is about to join the show now to talk about that visit, recap that, and a whole lot more. So we're going to welcome him on now. All right, Amir Herring, welcome in, man. Thanks for joining the show. How are you doing?
No, I'm doing very well. It's a great opportunity to be on Inside Nebraska, to do this interview. I really appreciate, taking the time out and, getting me on the podcast.
We appreciate having you more than you appreciate even being on here, man. You're a big time target now for Nebraska. You're coming off your third overall visit there over the weekend for an official visit for the June 3rd through 5th weekend. This was billed as sort of like maybe the biggest official visits weekend maybe that Nebraska's had under Scott Frost with 13 official visitors. And I'm kind of curious, like with you and all those guys there, could you feel that? Like, could you feel in the atmosphere like, okay, this is a big deal this weekend?
Yeah, when I seen the lineup and how many people and how many how much talent was going to be on the official visit at one time, I was like, man, this is going to be a really good weekend. And I already knew the staff and, how the staff, treats recruits and, their families and all that. So I knew it was going to be a really good weekend overall, at Nebraska. And, I feel like the families and everybody had, overall really good time.
Yeah. And I mean, you kind of bring the coaches up. So that's something I wanted to ask about was Donovan Raiola. He's a first year offensive line coach for Nebraska. I mean, he spent several seasons with his last stop with the Bears as an assistant offensive line coach, and now he's first time in charge of his own unit. And by all the accounts I've heard, he was ready for this unit. He's the right man for the job. But I feel like a lot of people don't know too much about him. So can you kind of fill us in on what Coach Raiola, what he's like? I mean, when you guys were talking this weekend, what are the vibes from Coach Raiola?
Coach Raiola, he's a really good coach and a really good, mentor really to the guys. That's what I really felt this weekend. Coach Raiola, he has all the tools and, all the, experience, to get you to the next level, which is, the NFL. So he's been there, he knows what it's like, what it takes. And he also coached at the highest level. So, and, Coach Raiola is an overall, just person, he's a really cool coach. He really cares about the guys and he took the job, head on. Really, he embraced this offensive line in Nebraska. I feel like it's going to be a really good year. Seeing the development of the guys over the spring has been really good to see. And I feel like they're going to have a really successful year.
Yeah. During the spring, were there any offensive linemen that you were kind of keyed in on, like to sort of watch and say that you were like really evaluating, like, all right, I want to see how Coach Raiola develops him or develops these guys?
Coach Raiola, as far as like the guys, I really didn't know like many of the guys really into the official visit weekend. So, but overall, I can speak as overall as a group. I feel like they're all making strides. When we looked at film from last year and everything like that, I feel like they made like huge strides and technique, footwork. I feel like they're going to be a really force to be dominated this year. As an offensive line, they're going to be dominant. I feel.
Yeah. Can you kind of take us a little bit, peel back the curtain a little bit of your official visit? I mean, I know with a lot of the guys I've already spoken with, they did film sessions with the Nebraska coaches, and I'm curious if you did a film session with Coach Raiola, it sounds like you did. Who was he sort of showing you film of, or what was that film session like?
So he just broke down just really, we had a run game session when I was, for the spring break. I mean, for the spring practice I went to. And this time we talked about, pass, and passing game and, what sets and, everything is that. So we just broke down really film with just, the guys this spring, the Chicago Bears who he was with for 4 years. And, in his time in Notre Dame, coaching there. So he just broke down really just, different sets, different guys and, how's their development, what can I do to add to my game really?
Yeah, and that kind of leads perfectly into my next question is what is his vision for you? Because I think we have you listed 6'3", 6'4" in the 280 range as an offensive guard. What's Coach Raiola's vision for you in that offensive line? I mean, how does he want to utilize your skill set?
Coach Raiola, he feels like I, fit, the system there, really well. I feel like I can, he feels as I can come in and, bring, a different aspect to the offensive line as far as versatility that I have across the offensive line. So really, that's just really, I would say, his pitch to me.
Yeah, and then obviously another aspect of an official visit is beyond the coaches. You want to get a chance to connect with the players, right? And sort of gauge from their perspective what the program's like, or what it would be like if you did join that program, wherever it is. I mean, so in Lincoln, first off, who was your player host, and like who are some of the players that you connected with the most while you're out there?
So my host, it was Bryce Benhart, right tackle, at Nebraska. I really got to hang out with like the whole offensive line, really. Teddy, I don't know his last name, but Teddy, Henry. I got to talk with Hunter Anthony. So it was really, I would say it's more like the offensive line room. Really, I hung out with this, the last weekend on my official. So I felt like it was really good, overallly, just hanging out with the whole offensive line, getting a feel. And they're really like a brotherhood there. So, they really, they spent a lot of time with each other. And that's what the feeling I got from, the offensive line there.
Yeah, and I know speaking of togetherness, you got to spend some time with the two offensive line commits that Nebraska has in the class going into the weekend. Two of the three, because Sam Sledge wasn't there, but you were on the official visit with Gunnar Gotula and Brock Knutson, if I'm getting those names pronounced right. And Brock wound up committing on Monday, the day after you guys got back, and 2 days ago by the time you're watching and listening to this at home. And then Bo Hughley that you had mentioned before. I mean, what was it like getting to know these guys? I mean, I don't know if the trip kind of strengthened your guys' chemistry, or like just how those relationships sort of built up because of this.
No, they're just really all cool dudes, really, just all, during the visit, we, got to talk, really, got to, get, a good feeling of, how people is like Brock, Gunner, Bo. So it was really good overall getting, to meet them, for the first time, getting to talk to them for, the official visit weekend. And overall, they're just really good guys.
Yeah, and Gunner, Brock, they're offensive tackles. Sam's offensive guard. You're an offensive guard, and it sounds like Nebraska's wanting to take four, maybe five, but four offensive linemen in the class, and they have three committed right now. What I know that you had said that Brock's commitment has no bearing on your decision, and I'm curious, like, were you guys talking like, hey, we could like envisioning like, hey, we could all be playing together, we could be part of the same offensive line one day?
I feel like it's I would say, we really didn't, talk about that really. I feel like the guys, in the class, they would love, to have me, in the class with them. So really, that's really about it as far as that. I know they would love to have me as far as the, offensive line group, me and Gunner and Brock, they would, I feel like they would love, to have me, Gunner and Brock. So that's really about the conversation that we had.
Well, you can leave it to the media guys. You can leave it to us to start talking about how you four would be a great fit together in Coach Raiola's offensive line room. I said I'd get you out of here in about like 10 to 12 minutes. So really the last thing I had for you is just going forward, what other official visits are on your docket, and what's ideally, I mean, do you have an ideal time frame of when you want to have this whole recruiting thing locked up?
So I'll be at Boston College this weekend, and then Missouri for the 24th to the 26th, weekend. And so my target, probably for my commitment, where I kind of, me and my family wants to target really at is before my senior year, really, just to, so I can focus on my team goals and really, hone in on really my team and what we're trying to accomplish this year, which is win the state championship. So that's really, where me and my family sees my target.
Yeah, well, West Bloomfield, I know there's a rich tradition up there, and it's a pretty powerful program, and so you'll have your hands plenty full with the high expectations there, trying to go and win that state championship. But Amir, in the meantime, we really appreciate you jumping on here to recap things, and hopefully things become a little more clear for you down the road as we head into the summer here. So thanks again for joining us, man.
No, thank you for, giving me the opportunity to be on the podcast. I really appreciate it.